Well, hey, y'all, we are going behind the scenes today of a brand new documentary uncovering the local civil rights sit-ins and the students who helped change our nation forever.
Rooted in Progress starts now.
Well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on what time you are listening in. If you are live, hey, y'all, come on into the Rooted in Progress Stream Center with your two favorite people in the world.
Yeah, happy Thursday to you.
It's your host, Deanne King, for Terrence Middlebrooks. How you been this week? You good, friend?
I'm doing well. You know, we had a great Thanksgiving break. You know, back and forth.
Oh my gosh,
swing.
Thanksgiving was last week.
It was.
Yeah,
so,
my stomach still looked like, still
I
dealing
know
with
it.
Thanksgiving.
I know it. So, but I'm thankful.
I'm
still thankful.
We are still thankful, especially thankful for all of you tuned in last week. We had an amazing episode, even on the Thanksgiving holiday.
Yes.
And this week, I am so excited to learn more about this new documentary. If you are just joining us, today's episode is diving into this new documentary that takes us through an untold story, really. Like, we don't hear a lot about this. We don't see it a lot in the history books. I missed it somehow as a native of Florida. It wasn't in my history class. It was in yours too.
No, it wasn't. You know, I'm not from Tennessee. I'm from Tennessee. I'm not from Tampa. And so it was real eye-opening to take a look at this documentary and just get to, understand the history of Black Tampa.
Yeah, we're talking about the civil rights sit-ins that literally happened in Tampa, Florida. This new documentary by WEDU. It's called Triumph, Tampa's Untold Chapter in the Civil Rights Movement, to share and give us all the behind the scenes and even give us some firsthand accounts. We got a good one today, y'all. We bringing in Danny Bruno, who is chilling right next to us in studio here at Rooted in Progress. He is the director and the producer of this film. Thank you so much for hanging with us.
Yes. Thanks for having me.
Good applause. Thank you, Danny.
And then we have a GOAT.
Yes.
We have a GOAT. We have a legend. We have walking history. Someone who has served our state for over a decade. Senator Jim Hargrett joining us virtually. Thank you so much for hanging with us this morning. We appreciate you.
Good morning.
Yes.
Can't wait to hear all your stories at this point. Let's go ahead and just kind of set the tone for people who might not have even known that this documentary was coming out. They might not know what it's about. Danny, take us through what Triumph is all about.
Okay, so the documentary Triumph, WEDU PBS, we were approached late 2024. The folks at Stageworks Theater, also local former Congressman Jim Davis was funding this play for the second run in 2025, and they wanted us to document it. And we, were like, absolutely, this is definitely along the lines of the type of stories that we love to tell. And so I was asked to direct it, and I was like, of course. My executive producer and boss, Christine Kelly, said, Danny, I would like you to direct this, and I said, of course. So it was quite an honor and quite an experience getting to speak to these participants who stood up for what was right 65 years ago. And just to be a small part of sharing that story was such an honor for me.
I bet.
Yeah, I bet it was an honor, Danny, to be a part of this documentary. Talk about when you got the news that they wanted you to produce this, and then also how familiar were you with the Woolworth sit-ins at that time?
So, I wasn't very familiar with locally. I grew up in Orlando. I moved to Tampa probably about 11, 12 years ago when I got the job working for WEDU. And so I didn't really know much about Tampa's history. And so my approach with how to, go about this project was kind of, I'm learning as we went along. And so my approach was like, let's share this story as if, let's assume the viewer knows nothing about Tampa.
Right.
Yeah. And so it was really cool because I was learning along the way, and we had all these brave young men and women from, back then who were sharing their stories. And it was just so eye-opening because, growing up in the 90s, we learned a little bit about, what happened,
some
civil rights, the civil rights movement. But it always felt like it was a whole nother world.
Yeah.
You know, it always felt like we were very far removed,
out of touch,
from what happened back then. But speaking to them one-on-one brought it to real life.
Wow.
And made it so real, and almost immersed you in the experiences that they had.
Yeah, there's so many people who are a part of this film, and that includes Senator Hargrett. And I just want to talk to you about what it was like for you to be able to tell this story today in 2025.
Well, it's a privilege and a pleasure, and it represents one of the proudest moments of my life, having participated in changing Tampa and helping in involvement in civil rights, and which really changed the nation, because as we repeated what happened in Greensboro, other students around the nation repeated what happened in Tampa and Atlanta. So it was a proud moment in my life, and a continuation of my representing my family on every important, significant civil rights activity in Tampa's history. My father was on the IGA grocery store and worked all the time. So when it came time to engage in voter registration drives and all the civil rights activities, I was a representative of the Hargrett family, even as a child.
Wow.
Participating in voter registration drives in Tampa and other activities.
I was just about to say, for the folks who might not even know who you are, I mean, give them a little taste. From Tampa, went to Middleton. So tell the folks about your upbringing, obviously, and how you're literally rooted in this Tampa community, because born, raised, and you literally fought for me to be here, for Terrence, and for all of us to literally be here and live the lives that we do.
Well, as I indicated, my family had been involved in just about every significant civil rights activity in Tampa's history. My mother was a plaintiff in the Equal Pay for Teachers lawsuit, which took a great deal of courage. As a teacher, she could have been fired for participating in a lawsuit that resulted in equal pay for Black teachers, because they were severely underpaid compared with their white counterparts. My father was president of Tampa Negro Chamber of Commerce and was active civically, supporting sporting activities such as establishing the Belmont Heights Little League, which is nationally known. And whenever anything popped up that needed the representation of the family, they sent their son to represent the family. So when the call came to participate in the sit-ins, it was like second nature for me to go ahead and agree to participate.
Now, Senator, let's just go back to that moment where when this movement began. There was a group of students within yourself that from Middleton and Blake High School. So when this movement came about, like, what was going through you all's mind? And I know you just mentioned that you've been a part of the civil rights movement throughout your entire life. Was this something that you had your hand raised from the beginning, or was it something that you kind of, I don't think we should do this? What was your mindset at that moment?
When they said they needed us to participate, I said I raised my hand. I'm ready to go. A lot of students, parents were afraid to let them get involved, but my family and their history of courage in these matters didn't have any problems, absolutely, for me joining. And we met at St. Paul AME Church on the day of our first sit-in, and got instructions in nonviolence before making the sit-in, and we were just ready to go. And I think all of us, there was a bit of energy. All of us were anxious. Those who were permitted to participate by the parents were really anxious to go.
Well, and then you talk about you guys practice the nonviolent protesting. I mean, we're talking at a time in the 60s where you know, you guys were about to make a bold move. And for those people that don't know what the Tampa sit-ins are, is a group of students who marched on to the Woolworth store. Woolworth was somewhat like a department store that had a countertop restaurant bar set up in it. And went and sat at this countertops where
they weren't allowed.
They were not allowed. Mm-hmm. But this peaceful protest or whatever, you knew you guys were going to get. I guess you could use the word tortured with just verbally, as well as perhaps even threatened. Could be beaten, could be arrested. What was going through your mind at the time? Like, you know, I mean, being spit on, that right there draws the line.
Well, when you're young and somewhat innocent, you brave beyond what other people might be as considered as reasonable. Mm-hmm. So 17 years old and having reached my senior year in high school, I was not fearful at all. Just waiting for the experience, and I was quite surprised that we didn't suffer any physical abuse, mm-hmm. But we went and did a successful sit-in one day, and my friends and I left the sit-in and rushed home to see ourselves on TV. It was kind of exciting to us.
And I feel like even in those moments, and Danny, feel free to chime in, because you got to hear these firsthand accounts by so many different people who were there at these sit-ins. And I think in those moments, right, kind of like how you said, you're a kid, right? Kids have no fear. Let's talk about it. Kids have no fear, right? But when you think about, like, do you think that the people who you talk to and the people who are featured in this documentary truly grasped the impact they were going to have on the future of our country?
I don't know if they did, but I knew they had to answer the call at the moment. These young high schoolers were led by a 20-year-old barber, Clarence Fort, and his wife Yvonne Fort was also present there at the time. And they what he told us was they had to use high school students because at the time there, around the country it was mostly college students mm-hmm. at black universities and colleges that were doing these protests and these demonstrations. But here in Tampa, I think USF had opened that year or the year after.
Okay.
And so we had the two black high schools, Blake and Middleton. And so Clarence went to the president of the Student Youth Council of both schools. One of them was Mr. George Edgecombe, who, everyone knows him here locally. The courthouse is named after him. And Shafter Scott. So they were the presidents of the student body presidents of those schools. Mm-hmm. And he went to them, he said, I need 20 students from each school. And, Senator Arthenia Joyner was one of them. Yeah. Senator Hargrett, who's here with us, was one of them. And they just, they all raised their hands and said, yes, and there was support from teachers, which I find teachers were involved in this movement as well and encouraged these students to participate. Some of the parents were kind of hesitant to let their children go and participate. We feature a woman named Carmen Grignon who shared her experience in the documentary that her parents didn't know, but she did it anyway. And so I just find that fascinating. Like, it was really such an experience to be able to have them impart that knowledge and their stories with me during this process.
Do you, and I want to hear from both of you all, especially you, Senator Hargrett, do you feel like these stories have been erased? Do you really feel like the kids who go where the old Woolworth was and who's down on Central or partying at the club that's right around the corner now, like, do you really feel like they honor and appreciate literally what took place 60, 65 years ago?
Well, I have 5 grandchildren, and watching the kids of their generation, they were somewhat unaware of what life was like back in the 50s and 60s. And one of my granddaughters said when she heard about the screening at the Tampa Theater, she said, "I didn't know you were one of them. That's cool."
Oh.
So I think it was very important for this information that came out through the presentation at the Strauss and the Tampa Theater to penetrate their consciousness, to understand that life was entirely different back in the 50s and 60s from what they're experiencing now.
Yeah,
Senator Hargrett, you guys mentioned, or actually Danny mentioned, that you all were just young people who were answering the call. Did you guys really expect that this became a complete movement in the Tampa area? The outcome, because shortly after that, several weeks after that, you guys were able to sit at the countertops, and then that store became integrated. Did you expect that to truly happen, or you guys were just taking this thing day by day?
We were kind of taking it day by day. Couldn't look that far in the future. At 17 years old, and had no guide of history to tell us what was likely to happen. The 60s, I had my feet as a person in both sides of history, in the period before the 1960s and the period after the 1960s. So I can look back and see and look back with pride about what we did, but had no way to gauge what was about to happen.
And I feel like that's a scary position to be in.
It is.
You know what I mean? Like you are facing something that's unprecedented, right? Where you are seeing people get killed.
Yeah.
You are turning on the television and seeing people getting sprayed, and all of these torturous things happening, all because of the color of your skin, right? And you're going against the grain, and you have no clue where this is gonna get you. You don't know if you're going back home. You don't know if you're going to school tomorrow. You don't know if you're going to jail. I could only imagine the fear. That's why I can also reckon with a parent saying, hell no,
you're not gonna do that.
I don't think you're going out there to those sit-ins, but that's why we're so grateful. And I'm also so grateful for the storytellers, for the people who are carrying and telling this hidden history, because otherwise people would...
Keeping it alive.
Well, people would know.
Yeah.
People would know, especially, while we have them here, love on them, be grateful for them, share their stories.
Right.
Yeah, I can add too. One of the themes that I wanted to explore was that I was seeing across the board was the level of sacrifice. The students literally put their lives on the line. We had city leaders like Mayor Lane, who the park is named after, Julian B. Lane Park, who actually worked with the demonstrators and was on their side and had the police actually protect them. We don't know if that happened anywhere else in the country.
Wow.
We know it happened here in Tampa. And we had Reverend Lowry from Beulah Baptist Church, who was the president of the local chapter of the NAACP, who stood with, the NAACP was a little hesitant at first because that wasn't how they operated. They worked the legal system in the courts to try to get the change that they wanted. But these students had enough, and they wanted to do something that they can actually go and participate in this movement. And so Reverend Lowry joined them and worked with them and supported them. And the sacrifice that he made was he was shot at. His house was shot at. Wow. With him and his wife at the time inside of the house. He wasn't hurt. So the level of sacrifice, city leaders who stood with these young men and women, the white leaders, they went on to not be reelected after this. Mayor Lane was not reelected because of his support for for the black community, and the governor at the time, Governor Collins, was also, he didn't go on to win elections. So I think Senator Hargrett says something in the documentary as well about us owing a great deal of thanks to those leaders as well. And so the sacrifice became a huge theme of the story in the documentary.
Senator Hargrett, can you talk to what it was like? Was there an automatic trust with white leaders? Because at that time, right, that was kind of an odd thing, right? Integration that didn't necessarily happen yet. So was there an immediate trust? And how did you all work to at least gain and build that trust, particularly with your white counterparts that helped this movement happen as well?
Well, we were sort of the foot soldiers and didn't really appreciate or understand the dialogues that were going on with the mayor and the Civil Rights Committee, Advisory Committee. We didn't quite understand that. We were sort of like foot soldiers who relied on the person to our right and left for solidarity and courage. The young people that were a part of it just participated with the thought in mind that we were doing something that was important and that needed to be done, but did not understand until years later the price that were paid by the political leadership who did the right thing. And is having served for 18 years in the Florida legislature, 10 as a House member and 8 as a senator, I can appreciate what courage it took for those leaders to stand up and do the right thing, even though they must have been aware that what they were engaging in might result in their careers ending.
Right.
That's the same thing in my generation that as a student that happened to Lyndon Johnson. When he signed the Civil Rights Bill, he was fully aware that his career might end over his decision to do what he considered the right thing. So my hats off to those courageous political leaders who took those steps to do the right thing.
Right, right. Also, this movement, this sit-in was a national protest. So in other cities, there was violence, there was arrest, all of that. So for you guys to have the bravery to go do this and take part of this protest, but yet knowing all the behind the scenes that took place, the from all the politicians and it's amazing that you guys walked away with no violence whatsoever. So we're going to take a quick break right quick, and we can elaborate more on that as soon as we get back. So stay with us.
All right. Hey, y'all. Thank you for joining us on Rooted in Progress. Come on in. We are continuing our conversation about the new documentary, Triumph, Tampa's Untold Chapter in the Civil Rights Movement. We have the director and producer of the film, Danny Bruno, with us in studio. We also have Senator Jim Hargrett, who was featured in the film, participated in the sit-ins, and is literally a walking history among us as well. One thing that I want Senator Hargrett to share, and you kind of gave us a little bit of taste of this when we were talking before the show started. This was just the tip of the iceberg for you. You had a long year when you were participating in the sit-ins, because you then also went on to Morehouse and you actually continued this fight, this push for civil rights. So share with the folks what that was like for you, who you worked with, and all of the good things.
It was quite a contrast because in Atlanta in the fall of 1960, after having participated in sit-ins in Tampa, went to Morehouse College, and the students in Atlanta University Center, that's Spelman, Morehouse, Morris Brown, Clark, and Atlanta University, decided to join the movement for desegregation in Atlanta. The contrast was that we didn't have the support of the political leadership, And Atlanta was a very, very difficult process, unlike the success of Tampa. And I think that's why the Tampa story is so important, because it was different from what happened in other cities. We marched under the leadership of Dr. King, and we went before our marches and sit-ins. We went to Herndon Stadium, hundreds of students from AU Center, and again got nonviolent training and set out to desegregate the lunch counters in Atlanta. We divided up into 3 teams with 3 different missions. The first was the team that was just going to march around the block where all of the lunch counters were located with picket signs. And that was kind of the safest approach. There was a different squad that had the mission of shutting down the lunch counters. We were instructed in the legal issues, and our job was to go in and sit in and wait until the lunch counter shut down. And then when the police arrived and asked us to leave, we'd leave and then go to the next store and shut theirs down and continue that process all day. So we weren't getting arrested because we moved when we asked to leave. The third group, which took the most courage, was a group that decided to fill up the jails in Atlanta.
Now, how old were you at this point? How old were you, Senator?
I was 18.
Okay.
I had a birthday in July of 1960. And the third group that wanted to fill up the jails, it backfired on them because they would refuse to move and get arrested. But Atlanta sent them out into rural Georgia counties in jails that were in very rural and scary places.
Scary places, I'm sure.
Instead of allowing their jails to fill up. So it lasted more, the effort lasted more than a year, unlike Tampa's that we did in a few months.
Right.
Wow. Under the leadership of Dr. Martin Luther King. Danny, do y'all dive into some of that work in the documentary?
We don't dive into too much of the work that happened on the college level for some of these participants, but they did share those stories, and we're working on some bonus content. Yes, but yeah, they did. Senator Hargrett shared some stories, and Senator Joyner shared some stories of when she was arrested.
Yeah.
Yes, in Tallahassee for the protests that were trying to desegregate the movie theaters in Tallahassee. And she shared some stories about what that was like, her and the other students being in the jail cell. She shared a story about getting their textbooks sent to them so that they can keep up with their studies. But the bars, she had this visual of the light coming through the cell and the shadow of the bars on the books. She couldn't even read her textbooks in the jail cell. But, we only had 1 hour. That was one of the biggest challenges with this documentary was we had one hour.
That's where I was going to, my next thing. It's like all the information that you guys gathered over what we say 4 to 5 months of filming.
Yeah, we started in February, and we did most of our production by the end of the summer, and we were in post-production from about summer through a few weeks before we premiered at the Tampa Theater, which was in November.
So along with Senator Hargrett, and then you got Senator Joyner as well as Fred Hearns. I mean, those guys could carry a eight-part series episode, any moment, just their lives and past together. How hard was it to just compact all of that information into just a 1 hour documentary?
Yes, it was a challenge, but thankfully we have an amazing editor. Her name is Hannah Winter, and
there was one editor?
Well, yes, she's our main editor, and
Hannah, girl.
Yes, and so I worked closely with Hannah and our executive producer Christine Kelly worked. We work as a team. Everybody pitches in, and and it's all hands on deck effort. at WEDU PBS. But it's also a cool experience. We're a very tight knit family, and we kind of all think and have the same ideas about like the direction of the story and like how we want to stylistically tell that story. So everything came out perfectly. The music was huge for me. A composer or a producer, a hip hop producer I met when I was growing up in Orlando, was able to get him. His name is Da Vinci, to produce the original score. So
it's amazing.
Everything, I couldn't be happier with the way the documentary came together. And my hope is that
very well put together.
Everyone else who saw it, and especially the participants, that they could be proud of it as well.
Oh, of course. And I do want to tune in. If you're joining us live, we appreciate you. Good morning to Kayla. Good morning to Danielle. Kayla, where can I see the documentary, if you don't mind sharing that? Danielle wants to know, will there be a link to watch the documentary? We will have that link for you on our website, WFLA.com. Just look for the Rooted in Progress page. We'll have that for you online right after the episode airs. But tell the folks how they can actually see this documentary.
So the documentary premieres, the broadcast premieres tonight at 9 o'clock on WEDU PBS. But they can view it online as well at our website, wedu.org/triumph. That'll bring them right to the website. There's some behind the scenes photos there. There's and then they can view the film there. It's an hour long, so it's not too long. You can watch it tonight on TV. You could watch it on your own time online. And we plan to distribute it nationally as well. It will be premiering, I believe, on Martin Luther King Day next year across all Florida PBS stations.
That's amazing.
And then we're working on it getting picked up nationally as well.
So for those people who have followed the actual story of the Tampa sit-ins, there was a play that was produced by the Strass Center. How much of that play did you rely on telling this story visually?
Well, the play was really the backbone of, and the inspiration for the documentary. But of course, we used the play to kind of interweave throughout the story of Clarence and starting the movement. And the play really captures that, such talented people who play these characters on stage. So the documentary is part play. It's multi-layered. There's a play, and then there's also the interviews with these actual folks who were there. And
which I love.
Yes.
I love the integration between those two.
Yes. And I will say, too, the play was written by Mark E. Lieb and, produced by Stageworks Theater. Carla Hartley is a creative director there. And so we just worked with them in capturing their play. We recorded the whole play, and then we found the spots in the story where we can kind of interweave that, go back and forth. So that was really interesting for me because I love theater.
Okay.
And I love theater and I love film as well. So it was a wonderful experience figuring out how to bring those two together to tell this story in the most effective way.
So just a quick correction. It was first, the idea from the play came from Stageworks.
Stageworks Theater.
I said the Strass, and then it moved over to the Strass. Was it because of what?
So it ran in 2023, and I believe that was at Stageworks Theater.
Okay.
And they wanted to reach a wider audience.
Gotcha.
So at the Strass Center, they were able to move into the Jabe Theater there and, bring in more people to be able to see the play. So it did. Stageworks worked with Strass in presenting this play again in 2025.
I want to take it there. And by there, I mean today's climate. When we look at the attack, and I'm going to say it quite frankly, on Black history, educating, especially the younger generation on Black history, I'm curious to know, especially from a vantage point like Senator Hargrett's, right? You grow up and you're born into a world where people don't like you because of the color of your skin. You fight for years for people to just accept you because of the color of your skin. And we kind of get there. And now we're here in 2025. Explain, do you think we're reverting? Are you proud of where we are today? Or what do you want to see done either differently or continue to happen in today's world?
Well, now that we have some past history, we have to be concerned, especially as parents and leaders, about where the future lies. I was the author of legislation that mandated the teaching of African American history in schools and putting it in throughout the curriculum rather than just Black History Month. That legislation was beginning to take effect in a number of school districts around the state. Wow. Until the governor and his decisions to roll back history. One of the things that motivated me to file the legislation were the advancements that were made during Reconstruction era. And when I discovered that a man by the name of Jonathan Gibbs was the father of free public education, which benefited poor whites even more than it did Blacks, I thought that the history of Florida, African American history, and the history of Florida and the history of the nation were one and the same. And people of all races deserve to understand the history, the true history of Florida and the nation. And so we were moving forward, but now we are facing headwinds that we haven't had since earlier history.
Yeah, you are right. And it's scary, if I'm being honest. And Danny, I don't know how deep you could get into this, but is there ever hesitation working at WEDU, putting out a film, a documentary like this, when we are living in a time where people are losing their jobs, they're slashing DEI? Is this technically DEI? Like how is that, and how is the culture of that when it comes to producing and putting out films like this?
Yeah, that was definitely top of mind while we were working on this project. But, it's important to tell these stories. It's important to, if we don't share history with the youth, we don't share this history with the youth, then we are doomed to repeat it again. And so that is more important than anything else. And, we have a duty to tell stories honestly, accurately. And we had such a duty to tell the story with respect to those young men and women who fought for everything that we have now. Yeah. Everything that we have now could, the clock could be turned back. Yeah. We could go back to the way things were if we're not careful. So that was definitely most important. And I think we did a pretty good job.
Y'all did.
Kind of.
Talk your smack. Y'all
did. Yeah. And PBS it's important to tell stories honestly and just to be fair. And so
it's becoming fewer. Like, we're seeing that happen, less and less across the country. And when you look at and we get on this show every week knowing that it's an honor and a privilege to be able to have a platform that speaks to Black issues, or that speaks to Black excellence, or that talks to a Black community.
And to still be here.
Right? Like I'm no Senator Hargrett. We're no Senator Hargrett, right? But it's the small things, and the fact that you can be backed by a company, backed by a boss, backed by a manager, and backed by people who believe in continuing sharing these stories and how important it is.
And I'm gonna add to that real quick. And it's our due diligence to continue to bring on pioneers like yourself, Senator Hargrett, to tell those stories, as well as you, Danny, to continue to highlight things that are going on is the reason why, or in the communities, going on in the communities is the reason why we're called Rooted in Progress. Yeah. So I know how hard it is. So going forward, Danny, what do you think, where do you see this going down the road?
Oh, well, like I said, we want this project to go national. There's so many people who are already interested in screenings at schools and whatnot. We want it to get as many eyes on it as possible. We think that right now is so important to tell stories like this. And this was a story, it's called Triumph because this was a success.
Yeah.
Right. This was right before the civil rights movement really kind of kicked off took off. And of course, there were some, things got pretty bad after this.
Yeah. It did.
And things are not perfect today. But this was a story of that had a good outcome.
Yeah.
Where city leaders,
not just a good outcome, an amazing outcome.
Yeah.
Yes, totally.
Yeah.
And everyone worked together. The term, the Tampa technique was coined, in 1967, there were riots in Tampa. And some city leaders, Jim Hammond and other city leaders, the biracial committee that Julian Lane had started in 1960, Tampa really figured out a way to have city leaders come together and to solve some of the issues that we were having in society when it came to race, especially. And so, but this was a story of a triumph, of a success.
Yeah.
And we want to share that to inspire others and show that we can come together and do the right thing.
We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to hear Senator Hargrett's thoughts on how we continue to be successful and continue to be triumphant. All right, welcome back to Rooted in Progress. We are talking about the brand new WEDU documentary, Triumph, Tampa's Untold Chapter in the Civil Rights Movement. It debuts on the TVs today.
Not the TVs.
That is the TVs, the televisions, okay? That is today. What's today? December 4th. It's 9
December
p.m.,
4th.
right?
9 p.m. tonight.
9 p.m. tonight, December 4th. If not, it will be available online. With us today on Rooted in Progress, we have the director, producer of this film itself, Mr. Danny Bruno. We have Walking History, legendary Senator Jim Hargrett with us. And we were just talking about how the stories that we're not only learning in the documentary, but hearing firsthand from people like Senator Arthur Joyner, Senator Jim Hargrett, it's tough, right? But as you mentioned, it's triumphant at the same time. At times, it's a little rough right now, especially when it comes to Black history, and I feel like race relations. So, Senator Hargrett, what do you think? Where do you think that our nation needs to go from here?
Say that again.
Where do you think our nation needs to go from here? Do you think anything needs to be changed? What do you want to see in us?
Well, I think the greatest investment we can make at this time as parents, as leaders in the community, is to make sure our young people know the truth. Every advancement in our history has been led by the youth. So it's important to get them to understand where we've been and where we've come from, so they can take the leadership roles that they have historically had in helping to move us forward in the face of strong headwinds. I remember my father's advice to me when I was getting ready to leave for college, which sort of illustrates what the 50s and 60s were like. When I told him I wanted to major in business administration to follow in his footsteps. And his advice to me was to choose another major. He said that the only thing you can do with a business administration degree is teach in schools or sell insurance. And that was sort of the reality of life in Florida in the 50s and 60s, because no one was hiring business administration graduates. During the 4 years I was in Atlanta, the world changed. And at my graduation time, there were more recruiters on our campus looking for African-American business graduates than there were business graduates. So it changed. And so that's why I say I had my foot in both worlds, the pre-1960s and the aftermath of the 1960s.
Senator, we know that none of this would have been possible without Clarence Ford. Talk about your relationship today with Brother Clarence.
Well, Clarence is been a lifelong friend of mine. I met and became aware of him doing our sit-ins, and I went away to school for 4 years at Morehouse and a year and a half at Atlanta U getting my MBA. And when I came back, we just were fast friends for many, many years. And in recent years, at our advanced ages, we don't see as much of each other as we once did, but I still consider him a very close friend.
I love how you put that, at our advanced stages.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to start using that. How pivotal was Mr. Clarence in sharing this story?
Oh, Clarence was amazing, and his wife Yvonne Fort, just amazing people to be around. So, so hospitable when we were there, and Clarence not only, was the leader in this movement, but he was a pioneer in our society in so many other ways that we unfortunately didn't have the time to talk about in the documentary. But he, I believe, was the second to integrate the Trailways bus, be a bus driver.
Wow.
And he worked for the sheriff's department, and he just did so many things. There's a Clarence Fort Trail named after him that Mayor Bob Buckhorn back then, proclaimed Clarence Fort Trail. So he's an amazing guy, and just the most humble person who whenever I asked him about, why did you choose to do this? He was the president of the Student Youth Council of the NAACP, and he urged Reverend Lowry to support this movement. Wow. And eventually they did get behind it. Mm-hmm. But it was just such an honor to speak with Clarence and with Yvonne Fort, and to get to know their children as well, who are doing amazing things in the community as well. It's a wonderful family.
It's an honor to know him. I actually did, so before even For the Culture existed, which is the segment that I have on our morning show. And I think it was Black History Month. I may have been at this station for maybe 4 months. Okay. And I hit up Mr. Clarence, and I'm like, I really want to do this big piece on this history about the Woolworth sit-ins. And he came out there, we walked them streets, he told that story. And I will say that story is what made me realize, like, I have to do more of this. And I was just a young little reporter who had just got here to Tampa. So meeting him several years ago and even being able to share just a small portion. Think about me. I want you to think about them two little minutes I had to tell his story on
and
television.
Here it is. You put all this in an hour. Yeah,
it's tough. So I commend you all, Senator Hargrett. Thank you, thank you for sharing this story and keeping this history alive. Because I totally agree with you. The only way we continue to get better, the only way we stay rooted in progress, is by sharing and educating, and we have to do that. So y'all go watch this documentary. Airing tonight on PBS, 9 p.m.
Please.
That's right?
Yes.
That's right.
Okay. I want to make sure. And it is available online as well. So what's next, right? We're thinking national.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, don't forget about us small folks.
Well,
okay?
what's next for you, real quick, Danny? What's next? Are we going to get a part 2 to this?
Yeah, like I said, we are going to do some bonus content, share some of the stories that couldn't fit in the documentary. And, I just enjoy working at WEDU PBS. It's such a great place to I've always had the freedom to tell some of the most important stories, and even the stories that I've been really interested in. We have an arts show, that I really love. I've produced some shorter content for that show. We've been able to get some regional Emmys for our work, so it's a great place to work.
That's what I see with this.
Yes. Our president and CEO Paul Grove is very supportive of the of this work, and so that's important too. That we have a leader who supports us sharing these stories with the community. And so and we just had so many great people who really came together and supported this. We could not have done it without them.
Congratulations.
Thank you guys so much.
So I'm just looking forward to continuing to tell stories. Maybe take a little break after this. But
you definitely deserve a break. Senator Hargrett, anything in the plans for you? What you got going on?
No, I'm just happy you're this information with the public, especially with our young people, so they can be aware of their responsibility to fill the shoes of those who've gone before them. Wow. As I indicated before, every movement for the advancement of African Americans in our history has really been led by young people. Yeah. Those who don't have to fear about their jobs or employment, but they persevered to move us forward.
Wow, very well said. Senator Hargrett, we appreciate you. Oh my goodness. We could just sit and chat with you later. We'll probably have to take you out to lunch or something like that, courtesy of the Rooted in Progress team. Danny, you could come too.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Yeah. Bring your camera. Bring the camera. So, guys, thank you all so much for taking the time out to join us on Rooted in Progress. Deanne?
Yes, we are live every Thursday at 9:30. Hey, if you're going to do anything today, y'all better be watching PBS at 9 p.m. Triumph, Tampa's Untold chapter in the Civil Rights Movement airs this evening. If you're listening to this after today, make sure you go online. We're going to have a link for you on WFLA.com. You can also follow us and subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. And if you don't do anything aside from watching Triumph, stay rooted.
Thank you.